Welcome to MCM. I'm Emily, and I'm so pleased you could join us as we take a look at the only three people in history to ever refuse to accept their Academy Award. If you enjoy this video, please don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button. Dudley Nichols, 1935, Oscar for Best Screenplay. The first person to reject an Oscar was screenwriter Dudley Nichols, who won for Best Screenplay for the 1935 film The Informer. Set during the Irish War of Independence and adapted from the novel of the same name by Liam O'Flaherty, the film was a heavy favourite at the Oscars that year. John Ford would go on to win Best Director, with Nichols winning Best Screenplay. However, Nichols refused to accept the Oscar and cited an ongoing writers' strike in Hollywood as his reason. The story goes that Nichols eventually accepted it 3 years later, in 1938, after the dispute had been settled. Not only that, Nichols was elected president of the Writers Guild of America, owing most likely to his refusal of the Oscar. George C. Scott, 1971, Oscar for Best Actor. George C. Scott, who was noted for his utter distaste for the entire ceremony, was nominated for his performance as General George S. Patton in the film of the same name. Scott had been nominated in 1962 for Best Supporting Actor in The Hustler, and had refused it. When nominated a second time, he again refused the nomination. Scott famously called the Oscars a 2-hour meat parade, a public display with contrived suspense for economic reasons, and sent a telegram to the Academy telling them that he'd be refusing the award and didn't even want his name on the ballot. The telegram read in part, "I respectfully request that you withdraw my name from the list of nominees. My request is in no way intended to denigrate my colleagues." Marlon Brando, 1973, Oscar for Best Actor. Just 3 years later, in 1973, perhaps one of the most famous moments in Oscar history occurred. Marlon Brando, another heavy favourite to win the Academy Award for Best Actor for his performance in The Godfather, was announced as the winner. Brando, however, wasn't quite as forthcoming with his refusal as Scott had been. Sure enough, Brando didn't turn up to the Academy Awards, but as an added gesture, he sent Sachin Littlefeather in his stead. Brando had become active in the American Indian movement in the early part of the 70s and planned his refusal as a way to highlight the Wounded Knee incident, which began a month before the Oscars themselves. That incident, according to an interview Littlefeather gave to the LA Times in 2016, was under an FBI press blackout. Contacting leaders in the AIM, they decided that Littlefeather be sent in Brando's stead. Dressed in a traditional Apache dress, she was given a 15-page speech to read out. However, a producer on the show allegedly threatened to have her physically removed and arrested if her speech went over 60 seconds. Littlefeather improvised a speech on the night, but not before gesturing that she did not want the statuette. As it turned out, Roger Moore ended up taking the Oscar home with him and keeping it for several years before an armed guard from the Academy arrived to collect it. What do you think about these refusals? Do you support them? Let us know in the comments below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe for more great content.